إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبي الرحمة محمد بن عبد الله الذي بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين. صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praise is due to our Lord Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In the previous khutbah, I talked about the importance and the big responsibility that we have on our shoulders, which is the coming generation, our children, and the importance of raising them upon the Islam bi'idhnillah. Today, inshallah, I'm going to talk about some important tips that inshallah will help us in raising our kids according to what's pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we talk about our children, my dear brothers and sisters, we have to know that our children is a part of our family. And our families are organizations. Any organization has different elements. So to make sure that each element of any organization is working properly, you have to make sure all of the elements are working properly and supporting the other elements. So before talking about the children, we have to talk about the parents. We have to talk about their relationship with each other, how the father and the mother are treating each other. Are they upon what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated in His book, which is the rules of respect, mercy, Allah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Rum, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, that He created between you mercy, Allah. That's how the relationship between the husband and the wife should be. Are we upon that? Many of us are not upon that. Some man has gone astray, doing what Arabs used to do in the Al-Jahiliyyah, following the Jahiliyyah that existed before Islam. And the women are following the modern Jahiliyyah, the modern ignorance. So the ignorance of the men is that they always believe they have the control. I'm the man, I have to control the family. She has to listen to me. She has to take everything from me. And ignoring all of the hadith, all of the ayat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam are explaining how this leadership should be and how the obedience should be from the wife. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when we read his sunnah, we notice that he clearly made it to the men that you have to give more. You have to give more. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِ. The best among you are those who are so nice to their families. Meaning that men has to do more. They have the leadership. Leadership is responsibility. So do not expect that more to come from the wife. That more has to come from you in order for you to be a leader. You're not going to be a leader for no reason. You have to do a lot. The leadership that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about is the leadership of care, love, of mercy, and the leadership that's full of fearing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, اتقوا الله في النساء. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in women, in the way you treat women. Whether they are your wives, your mothers, your sisters, regardless who they are, you have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way you treat them. So Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala did not give you the leadership to treat her in the way you want to. That leadership does not mean the obedience of the slave to his master. No, it means something different, which is mercy, love, care, advice, doing your best to protect your wife, doing your best to make your wife happy. Because in the hereafter, you're going to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge you and ask you about your treatment to her. She was very valuable in her family's house. And when we marry them, we make the promise to keep them happy. But few of us that fulfill that promise. We change after the marriage. Why do we change? We have to keep that promise. We have to treat our wives the same way we want our daughters to be treated at their husbands' houses. So this is very, very important to understand. Islam does not make you a leader to be controlling the wife, to be controlling the woman as you want. No, you have certain things that you have to fulfill. You have certain things that you have to go by. So the leadership does not mean ownership, it means responsibility. And on the other hand, the women, they are following the modern ignorance, believing that we as women, we have to participate in leading the family. The man is a leader and the woman is a leader. And that's impossible. That's going to cause chaos. You're not going to have an organization and you have two managers or two leaders. Things are not going to work. You could have many managers, many leaders, but for different departments, not for one department. So when you have any organization, any company, any gathering of people, leadership is needed. And leadership always handled by one person. Two people cannot do well and cannot be together as leaders. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave that to the man. So the woman has to cooperate. The wife has to be obedient to the husband. We're not talking about the obedience of the slave to the master. We're talking about the obedience of the love, the obedience of the care, the obedience that full of fear from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about. The religion of Islam will never make a woman a slave under the hand of the man. That's not true. And all of those who are treated their wives, and they take Islam as an excuse to justify their bad action, they are doing the wrong thing. And they are quoting the wrong ayat and the wrong ahadith. They're not reading and paying attention to all of the ahadith that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam clearly talking to men. You have to do more. You have to give them more. You are responsible. You have to do more in order for you to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that has to be fixed. And the relationship between the husband and the wife is a big topic. It's a big topic. If we keep talking about it, we're going to keep talking about it for years and we're not going to be finished. So what we want the husband and the wife to do, in summary, is that they're going to argue. They're going to have different opinions. They're going to have problems. But what they have to do in terms of raising their kids is to keep their problems out of the way of raising their children. Alhamdulillah, when someone gets married, does not have kids right away, at least a year. And after a year, when you have the first child, you have like 2 years before the child starts understanding. So all of that is a training and a practice period to get to know your partner and to know how to solve a problem whenever you have any problem. So once the kid reaches the age that he understands what are you talking about and what are you doing, and an argument that may be between you, so keep that out of the reach of the kid. Keep that away from the kid. You have to argue, you can argue at the time that there is no children. In the bedroom or anywhere that your children cannot see what are you doing. So that's very, very, very important, because the kid is not going to take from someone who is not respectful to his mother. The kid is not going to take from someone who's not respectful to his father. And that's going to cause the kids to go in two teams or two categories. Some kids with the father and the others with the mother. They're not taking from the father, we're not taking from the mother. Both father and the mother has to work together. And the kids need both. They need to learn from both. So because of that, we have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to fix our relationship with our wives before raising our kids upon Islam and making our kids, inshallah, successful in the future. After that, we're still not going to talk about the children. We have to work on ourselves. The most important key to raise your kids and to make them as good people is by setting good example for them, by being a good role model. A lot of kids, they go astray because of the parents' actions, the parents' behaviors. They're telling them something and they do not act upon it. So how is that going to happen? No way for that to happen. So whatever you want your kids to be, you have to be that person, or you have to be that. You want your children to be successful, you have to be a successful person. And when I say success, I don't talk about to have a bachelor's degree or to be a doctor or to be an engineer. You don't have to be that. because success is not in a paper. So if someone does not have that, is not a successful person. No, success is something that you live with. Success is something that you enjoy and people around you enjoy. So if someone, an example of a successful person, someone who is taking care of his family, not bothering and harming people, and taking care of himself, that's an example of a successful person. If you want your kid to be like that, you have to be that person. You want your children to be good people, you have to be that. And do not believe in the myth that it's gone, I'm finished. My kids can be something and I'm not going to be that. No, whatever your kid can learn, you can learn it. Whether it's education or a skill or whatever it is, whatever they can learn, you can learn. When we talk about education, education is not finished or is not limited to a certain age. No, many people are working and learning. If we talk about skills, many people develop skills after being adults. So whatever you want your kid to be, you have to be that. And if you're not that, you have to convene that. So bi'idhnillah, this way you will help your children. And the main problem that Muslim face, or all human, when we talk about all people, is the hypocrisy. We have hypocrisy in our life, in our practice. We say something, but that does not exist in our practices, and will never exist. That's a real problem. An example, the kid is not allowed to smoke, and the father is smoking. Why I cannot smoke? Because I'm a child. Because you are a child, you're not an adult. So how you believe this is something that's harmful when you're doing it, and I cannot do it. Or the kid cannot stay up late. He has to go to bed because he's a kid. And the parents are staying up late. They're not doing something important. If they're working or doing something important, that's permissible Islamically. But they're doing something worthless. So why the kid has to go to bed and the parents can stay up because they're just adults. And that's going to create something in the heart of the kid. He just wants to be grown. He just wants to become an adult so he can do whatever he cannot do now. Because he's believing or he's feeling that he's being limited. His freedom is limited. Other people are enjoying a lot of things that he cannot enjoy just because of the reason he's a child. So when we talk about good things or bad things, harmful things, beneficial things, that applies to adults and kids. When we talk about smoking, this is something that everybody has to quit, not to do. It doesn't matter. You are a kid, you are an adult, that doesn't matter. So if you don't want your kids to smoke, you have to quit smoking. If you don't want your kid to stay up late, you have to quit that. Go to bed early. And that's the instructions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's the instructions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. كان يكره النوم قبل العشاء والحديث بعدها. That the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam hate to talk or hate to sleep before the Isha, and he hate talking after the Isha, meaning that he goes to bed right after Salatul Isha. And this is something for the children and for the adults. The children to go to bed early and wake up for school. And same thing for the adults. Go to bed early and wake up for work, or wake up to do whatever you have to do. So we have to change ourselves. If you want your kid to be something, you have to be that. That's the main key of changing our children. And that's the reason why a lot of children are going astray once they are adults. They just want to enjoy whatever they were not allowed to do when they were children. So because of that, my dear brothers and sisters, we have to work on ourselves. We have to change ourselves. We have to know that our children are not living with anyone except us. So whatever we do, they copy and take that from us. If we are bad people, for sure they're going to be bad people. If we are good people, for sure bi'idhnillah, they're going to be good people. And when we talk about raising our children, most of us think about the tarbiyah is just education. He goes to school, learn how to pray, learn how to read the Quran, learn how to make the wudu, and that's it. This is a part of the tarbiyah. This is a part of what they should receive from us. But the mistake that we, or a lot of us do, is that we neglect the suluk, the behavior, the akhlaq, the manner, how the kid is behaving, how the kid is talking, how the kid is approaching people, how the kid talks when there is guests at the house, and how the kid talks when there is no anybody around,
how the kid talks to his fellow children and how he talks to his elders. All of that are things that we always have to be teaching the kid. His behavior, his manner, his akhlaq, the way he respects people. When he goes to different places, there is certain akhlaq for any place. A small example, when the kid is coming to the masjid, how many kids know the akhlaq and know the manners and know how to behave when they are in the masjid? When you come for Salatul Maghrib or Salatul Isha or any Salat that there's kids, just watch what's going on. Watch what's going on. Some kids are next to the parents, sitting, imitating, and copying whatever the father is doing. If the father is praying, they pray. If the father is reading the Quran, they have the Quran. Once the Salat is finished, they are seated. If the father stand up for the Sunnah, they stand up and pray it with him. And you have other kids at the back playing. And the father is in front, in the first line. Why? Because that kid in front, the father been working with him. That's a result of continuous work. Before coming to the masjid, teaching the kid, we go into the masjid. We're not going to a playground. We are going to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of those who are going to be in the masjid, they are believers because they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that's why they're in the masjid. They worship Him. So we have to be respectful. We have to be quiet. We have to enjoy this moment. But the other one is convinced that my child is a devil. Will never listen. But the reality, the parent is the devil because he never taught that kid. He never taught that kid. So your kid has to receive instructions. You go into school, he has certain instructions that he has to be receiving from you, how to behave in school. If you go in to visit some families, he has to receive certain instructions that are suitable and good for that place. If he's coming to the masjid, he has to receive instructions from you, how to be in the masjid, and what the masjid is, and what we do in the masjid, and who are these people who come into the masjid and pray, and what they are doing. If all of these information, all of these instructions are being received by the kid, believe me, the kid will not be the same one who we believe is a devil. The problem is that he's not receiving anything from us. We just believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created him like this. No, he needs to receive something from us. We have to guide him. If we guide him, bi'idhnillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide him. Inshallah, we'll continue talking about this in the next khutbah. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه وتوبوا إليه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.